Oh, welcome, good people, to the only podcast that gives you everything you need and so much more. The only one I could be talking about is So What You Think, airing on ICU Radio 97.3. And today, we got some special guests here today talking about something brand new for you to see if you're going to be checking out Tribeca Film Festival down here in New York. The only film I could be giving you guys some good knowledge for is White Belt. What is White Belt, you ask? But listen, slow it down a little bit. Let me tell you a little something about it. On the eve of her first major Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament, former supermodel Monika Jak Jagaciak, once the face of global fashion, reveals her extraordinary transformation as she trades runways for grappling mats and confronting her past and reclaiming her life through the discipline of combat sports. Man, does that sound something you want to check out? I know it is. And I'm blessed to be given right now with the people who start it all. Director of said film, Bron Jagaciak, and starring Monika Janic. Please, hello, how are y'all doing?
Hi there.
Good, good. How are you? Sorry, we gave you a little tongue break right there with our names.
I live in pride like literally for 3 days straight, and I still feel I've been doing my best with it. Please bless me on that, please.
Oh,
We
no.
appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Now, the one thing though I appreciate though is watching this film over here, and let me just tell you, I cannot be somebody for me who loves watching jujitsu and just understanding about how hard it is and the journey to get into it. Seeing your journey with it, Monica, and going with your path to getting over here. So I gotta know. I think a lot of people who watch this gonna ask, what in your heart made you say, I want to leave this over here and try something brand new in this life?
You know what? It came from like an inner need to rebuild my confidence. It really was. I was at the point of my life where I was turning 30. I had all this great success from the past, from modeling, but yet I didn't feel proud of it. And it really messed with me. So I needed a personal challenge, and jiu-jitsu seemed something like very much out of my comfort zone. So yeah, I made it into a mission of completing something that doesn't feel me, but at the end of the day, it became very much big part of me.
And you did say that in the film that you wanted to reclaim yourself. You wanted to find that in you again. And seeing that in it, like some people would look at you and say, but you did that though. Like it felt like you accomplished so much, but next chapter in your life, you still said, I wanted more. And when walking down that, even when you were trying out this new journey, did you ever stop yourself and be like, what am I getting myself into? Why am I even trying this? I should just completely stop.
For sure, many times. I think I've broken my little toe twice. I definitely, I definitely felt that there was many times where I'm like, does this even make sense? Why am I doing this? The crazy thing is that I think I only fully understood myself once I saw the first cut of the film, because I heard it was reflective of all my stories and how Brani, as well as his editor, put it together. And I feel like they were the ones who really understood what this whole journey was about. So it was self-reflective, the entire journey, the 8 months, and then the filming, and then the editing. So I did reclaim it. I feel like my confidence level is much, much higher, especially going into interviews for Tribeca. I mean, what can get better?
I mean, I can never deny that too. But then I'm glad you brought up the man behind it all. Bron, I wanted to go to you, and as you know, this is your partner in crime over next to you, and you putting this all together. Was there a part of you with creating this and putting this all together? Did you ever look at yourself and wonder what picture I want to paint when putting this all together?
Yes. I always, the moment I met Monica, I always saw in her this incredible woman, of course, that became my wife and became the mother of my child. But much more than that, I always felt she's an incredible individual that had also a beautiful life story, but also like she she has such a pure persona about her, and I really wanted that to come out in the film. So finding ways to portray that, if it was in the roller skating center or on the streets of Las Vegas, driving a red car, was finding that sort of little moment where she can be her. So yeah, that I really hope that comes out that way.
And it did while watching it too. What for you then was the hardest part in directing this? You know, I know there's something you gotta scrap, some things that you would like, maybe we should go a little deeper with that part of it. But for you, but sitting there in your thoughts, what was the hardest part in directing this?
Um, well, it's with most of the times in documentaries, you're trying to get access and you're trying to build trust with the people that you're going to work with. For us, was the opposite. We already had the trust. So the hardest part was making it new, if you want to call it so. So knowing each other and knowing what questions will be and how I work, she knew, and I know what answers will be. We had to break that part, and so, but I had to trick her into certain situations where those questions will come surprisingly, so she can be more real about answering them, and how we kind of approach each scene. Nothing was sort of given to her that she knew what to prepare for. So it was the opposite. So that was the challenging part, sort of like breaking the commonality, like when you're like kind of the routine, if you want to call it so. She, like, if you wake up in the morning and go to work every time the same way, you're like, I know exactly what's going to happen. But one day you wake up and go the other way around. So that's finding that other way with each other was the hardest part.
I feel that. I feel that. And seeing this guy as a person over here watching it all, right? Seeing it all come together. I took watching this and I really was amazed on just your life, going from Poland and then deciding for yourself to come to America and then also then just the journey of putting it all together, right? And as an outsider who's just born over here, someone with Poland, what in your eyes were you trying to get to yourself to build this new life, and then also then going to the point where you then want to go on this new journey together?
You know what?
Yeah.
I think when I came in for the first time when I was 15 to New York, I think I wasn't fully aware that what was kind of happening. I was just answering the calls and following a path that other people were making for me for modeling, for my agents, etc. And then, it became this years-long journey that I didn't expect, that a real career that lasted so long. But then, meeting my husband, having a child, and then really making a decision. At some point, we left US too, and then after pandemic, we came back. So that was the point when I think overall making life decisions was new to me, even though I lived all this life. I was always following somebody else's lead. So for us, part of the film is when we're getting our green cards and when we're going through the whole idea of finally committing to US and realizing that this is where we made ourselves and we really are living the American dream. So I think this is also, the little bit of the positive aspect in this film too, that we truly are made here and it's still possible. And I think immigrants are building America, and immigrants are really, really appreciative of the opportunities that we get here.
That's very, very true. And just connect more to what you just said. During the pandemic, a lot of things were changed for everybody, and a lot of people were making this decision on what they wanted to do through all the new changes. But that was also a scary time, like you just said. Did you both ever decide are hesitant to be like, maybe we shouldn't go back to America. Maybe we shouldn't get our green card. Maybe we should just stay here in Poland. Like, did that ever cross your mind?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go Brani.
I mean, absolutely. We are both from Europe, and we had the luck to really live in every capital city in Europe, which a lot of people will be like, well, why would you then? A lot of our friends will be like, why would you choose America if you could have choose any other place? But for example, I see in your screen behind you there is you played football in college or high school, I assume, and so seeing like what US can do in terms of for our daughter, right? I love Europe, and Europe is definitely a place that like we were born there, but it does kill a lot of dreams. So if you want to go somewhere and you feel something about yourself that you think you can do, it takes it away. A lot of people around you will tell you can never make that. There's forget about this, right? America doesn't do that. It has a lot of problems. Don't get me wrong, and we knew that. But I think what it is a place of dreaming, and a lot of dreamers are here. A lot of great people are here, despite everything else. There's a lot of great people with sincere intentions, and I think that in itself, we felt we want for our daughter. We want her to go to college. We want to have the photographs about her, her like how I say, like the final exams and going to sports and living this what we, Monika and I, only saw through movies and through series like Friends and things like that. So going back, that's kind of where I think. I
Hey,
don't know if you want to add something, Monika.
No, you're right.
and listen, Brownie, you got a good eye. Listen, I'm glad you spotted that flag over there. Listen, I did my thing back when, there's my love for the whole game. But I love what you brought about dreams because no matter how old you are, whether you're young or you're old, you never can never stop dreaming for anything, right? And I love how both of you pushed that forward to your daughter, and look, she was watching this journey through you guys going through this too. Through this, as she gets older and she maybe rewatches this, what do you hope that she even gets through this for you?
At the end of the film, there's a little message. And funny enough, the first time we were able to see White Belt on a big screen, and at the end, I say, this is for my daughter, and I hope that from what she takes from it really is that anything is possible, and you do not need to satisfy all the other people around you. You just be yourself and you follow your own path. And America does it really well, I think. But the funny enough that when that came on the screen at the very end, she turned around to me and she said, "I know, mommy," which I think we're doing a good job at it. That was just a confirmation that she might not even need this film. She already knows it.
Oh,
But it is something that we're very proud of, that, our work is reflective of our life and how we approach it. So yeah, it all came together and it all makes sense.
Brown, I would love to throw the same question to you.
Well, I in my work, I always go through, my personal journey and putting the camera towards my mother, towards my wife, my daughter. So I really hope for her that she understands. One of in a previous question, when we went back during COVID, we were back in Germany. That's where I grew up, and she started going to school there. And one of the things we saw, and I said, this conforming mentality is not what we want. I want her to do whatever she wants, right? So our sacrifice to leave safe zone, that's literally what Europe was for us, a safe zone, a very familiar sort of landscape. Going back, to here now, in California, starting all over new again and reshaping, reinventing ourselves, is I hope she understands the sacrifice and how, like, just be like, if you have this feeling to do something new, just go for it, and I hope that she's gonna have this feeling that, like, hey, I wanna be this, I wanna be that, I wanna move somewhere, I wanna, like, come back. It's all fine, it's all good.
That's what you love to hear. Any good parents would want all the best for their children. So yeah, you love to hear that. And just for this film, White Belt, the one thing that also piqued my eye, while just going through it, is that I love hearing you being so transparent, Monica, about the industry of fashion, like of modeling, and then just also because a lot of people do know about. I think nowadays a lot of people are hearing more and more stuff about the inners and outers of the world. But I think what was very honest was you saying how much success you were getting with it, but then also the inner of you feeling that this just isn't me. Like that just isn't me no more. Knowing the other people and other women and men who are in modeling, how do you then go to them to tell them that feeling of should I leave? Like that deep side of leaving something that's so comfortable, but afraid to make that leap to try something new.
I still haven't fully left it ever. I've taken breaks. But the reality is, like, I am one of the people who really loves working in fashion. And I never felt like I need to push it totally out of my life. I would say 90% of my friends who did it did that and totally changed their life into acting or, banking, anything at some point. But I think as long as you have your feet on the ground and you understand that this is the way that this industry works, and I think that comes with many careers, acting and all of that. It's you just need to be really strong and see it for what it is and not let it take away your power. And I think I did let it take away my power a little bit. And that's why this film was created. That's why this journey started, because I myself felt very conflicted about how much I can be in charge of my career and where I'm going next, and how much I wasn't in charge for so many years, yet I had all this success. So it's all about a balance. And I think for most of the time that I was doing this job, I did have the balance. And whenever I felt out of balance, I step back, and I was so privileged to be able to step in again. I had all these great agents and everybody else who supported me to put it in. So despite all of the stories and all of the non-glamorous parts of this work, I'm still very glad that I had this journey, because I wouldn't be here otherwise talking to you.
And listen, I appreciate that. And when you were going to Las Vegas, going to the tournament, what what was that feeling to you though? Like what was that same feeling you had when you walked down the walk through your time? Was that a different feeling? That's still competitive, or that feeling of something new was still in you during that time?
Oh, I mean, maybe it was the same feeling that I had when I was 13 and I first went on an airplane to go to Japan for modeling. And I didn't know how to speak English. I've never flown so long. My mom was there, who also was like, "Oh, I guess we're doing this. I don't know where we're going." Um, it felt a little bit like that, like going first time on the mat and they're showing me all the moves. I'm like, this is so out of my comfort zone, but yet, I will do this. I will commit, and let's see. And soon after, you start feeling good. It starts being part of you. So, it's a film about a new start. It's a film about going from 0 to 100, completing something to rebuild yourself. And I think I'm glad that I did it.
Listen, it takes a lot to do that. It takes a lot to step out something that you don't even try before and to fully go into it. That takes a lot of guts, and a lot of people sometimes don't even take that extra leap. And with Braun, I just want to know, as a director, as a filmer, what inspirations did you get from yourself from other films or other directors that really inspire the look for you, and who also just gives you that spark in your eye whenever you create projects like this?
I mean, that's a good question, but it's also a hard question to answer because there's so many great people out here. I personally like to mix and look around, for different things to inspire me. But one person that obviously makes it incredible is Scorsese. Quentin Tarantino. It's probably one of the best screenwriters. Like his dialogues, his characters are so unique, are so familiar, but at the same time so new and so fresh. So I love watching films, all kinds of films. In the documentary world, there is all these great people as well. So yeah, I mean, I hope I answered your question. I think those major ones that probably people are like, oh, of course, you're going to say that. But I think they're just great. It's great to rewatch certain films and see something, how they thought about it, and they're like, oh wow, this is new to me. Like let me think about that, and then use it for my work.
And see, and listen, as you know, as a man who loves movies as well, as you're talking to someone, and and going to a film festival as we are there any top films for you and Monica that you both love to watch together or with your daughter?
We recently rewatched so many feel-good movies from the 90s, and we try to also teach our daughter that those like slower pace movies are much better for her and her brain. I think these days we're so used to, especially for kids, like, a non-stop cut, like non-stop action. So we're looking at like What are the recent ones, Brandon,
Aaron,
that you watch
so
with her?
like, Monica and I made this deal with each other, being a filmmaker. I'm watching the new films and how things, even Disney, it's such a fast cuts. As a filmmaker, I see those cuts, I see those decisions. I was like, oh, that's like almost like I get like a reaction just by watching it. So we decided to do this little like experiment where we'll let our daughter only watch films like from Marilyn Monroe, old films like black and white films, then slowly getting into the 70s, 80s, like even the Disney's hand-drawn films. And for example, we want to we try to like let her even watch like serious stories like Erin Brockovich, and then we just ask her, so what do you think about this film? So we with her we are rewatching all these older films. Not to say that new films aren't great, they are, but for her specifically, what we do as a family, we like to watch very old films, like and just discuss them together and just see how she reacts. So as a result, she's a big fan of Marilyn Monroe, and and she's obsessed with her. And then she goes to school and she says, "Dad, nobody knows who Marilyn Monroe is." Of course, So yeah, that's kind of the where we are.
Nah, that's actually a very, very smart thing both of y'all did because I did not expect Marilyn Monroe to come out, so that was actually a dope thing to hear. And that's the other thing too about what I love is having the different eyes of it's different when you're in these kind of films. You're getting directed by someone you don't really know or someone that you may have heard around the street. You're with someone that you love and someone that you with so connected to. And I think that shows in the project you both putting together that you see the vision and that you see the connection of the project that was given to the public. And I think that you put a banger of a job together. I got it's just for me, and that's just my biased way of saying.
Hey.
Thank you so much. It means a lot.
And when we get to the finish line, I just wanted just to wrap this all up in the best way that I can. If you both can allow me to. And well, when this is going to be debuting June 7th, everyone's going to be coming in to see this. For you both, when you're going to be sitting and watching the public eye get their own eyes and vision on it, what do you hope they walk out of after they watch this?
I hope that there will have that a good feel about it, that it's not like I think I mentioned before, that it's not a heavy story. It is a story, but we never, I think Brani has a beautiful way of always telling a story where he is not trying to tell you how to feel about it. There is a lot of kind of silence in between where you get to decide how you feel about it, despite the fact that I might be telling a story that, can be a little bit triggering from fashion industry, but yet right after I follow, hey, this happened to me, but look where I am right now. So I want people to take it for themselves as they like and not make them feel a way. But I also want them to feel inspired that starting from zero, being a white belt in any sort of new environment um, is okay, no matter the age, no matter the stage of your life, no matter the success that you have behind. And we should all try new things and build our confidence on it.
Love that. And Brian, I would love to give your thoughts as well.
Same thing. I think Monica said it well. I feel like I hope that people walk out of this and feel inspired that any time in your life, doesn't matter the age, doesn't matter the circumstances, place where you are, that you can change things, that you can reinvent yourself. It could be the simplest thing to be like, I want to start a new hobby or start a new sport or start playing an instrument. Doesn't matter what it is. I think it's it's a human nature to constantly reinvent ourselves, and we live in a times that this is. I hope that people walk out of it and feel that this is possible.
Is there a chance later on are we gonna get sequel films with the blue belt, green belt? Maybe it's gonna get the black belt. Is there a chance we might get that?
I don't know. You just gave me an idea. We didn't think about it. Hey, who knows?
Listen, don't listen. I don't need no credit. Oh, I just want y'all to put the magic out there. And after that, you put a smile on my face. I already know about that. Thank y'all for that.
Thank you.
And hey, listen. This kind of doc film that I always love to watch because it shows so much on people willing to say, I'd rather try than not do it at all. I'd rather give it my all than not do anything and live with the thoughts of regret. And those are kind of docs I think anyone can hop into, anybody can really dive into and seek their teeth into. And that to me is perfect through this project. And I want to thank you both for your time and your pleasure. But the last thing I need to go through you is what we do for over here on So What You Think on ICU Radio 97.3. We love to go and just get our people to say who they're thankful for and who they want to show their great love to. So the floor is yours. Who you want to give your flowers to say thank you for everything you've done for us?
You want to go, Brani, first? He's really good at being thankful always.
Well, I know that this is not what a lot of people say these days, but I thank God. I think I'm very grateful. I always, have this thing with my daughter where we don't leave the house before like, sort of telling a quick prayer and like sort of like thanking God that we are here, that we can follow our paths, and that we're grateful for each other. So I thank God. I thank my wife, of course. I thank my family for support, and of course our wonderful team. Including our wonderful PR Justin, who really everybody's working so hard for this to come out as best as possible, even to our I haven't even think about that. We never even expected it to be so far. So I thank everyone in our team that really put their hard work to make this happen. And thank you to Tribeca, of course, for allowing us to premiere in New York in such bang way. So yeah.
Love that, Monica. We get to drop anything for the people.
Sure. I'm thankful for every single beautiful soul that came into my life and allowed me to be where I am right now. And that includes, every single person that believed in me from 13 on. Obviously, to my parents who kept me in check throughout all these years, having my success. But also later on, my own family, which is my husband and my daughter, who still keep me in check and help me make this film. I would not do this if it wasn't for him. I many times didn't want to do it, yet he proved me wrong, and here we are. So thank you for proving me wrong, my love. And thank you for taking your time to promote our film. I look forward to see everybody at the premiere.
And thank you,
Listen,
Ronald, from my side too. Kudos to your questions. I mean, amazing. Really, really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for having us on your show.
hey, listen here. I should be showing my appreciation to both of y'all for giving me your time, all right? And listen, all I ever say is the same as thing. All I ever want to do is tell the good stories and tell the people out there what needs to be heard. And I appreciate y'all time. I appreciate you giving me your time. And most importantly, for everybody who listen up here, listen, you know what's going down. If you want to catch something like this and just feel the energy that I'm feeling right now, go see White Belt June 7th, Tribeca. Get your tickets. Go check it out. You're going to have a great time. And I promise you, you're going to leave the same way I'm feeling right now when I saw it up there. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate each and every one of you giving that. And always remember the thing when you listen to this. This is only me, Ronald. Don't forget the E. Smith. Only on ICU Radio 97.3. And don't forget, the credits might roll, but the conversation never really ends. Thank y'all so much. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll do it again. Thank you.